All right, well, she was sleek, fast, and beautiful, a mighty symbol of our country. But that was long ago. And today, the liner S.S. United States languishes at a dock in Philadelphia, rusting away, possibly doomed for the scrapyard. Ed Lawrence has her story.
For those who sailed on her, it will be a day long remembered.
When she left port on July 3, 1952, the S.S. United States was considered the fastest and most luxurious ocean liner in the world. Its maiden voyage across the Atlantic took 3 days, 10 hours, and 42 minutes, a record that still stands today. It was so fast, the ship's propellers were a Cold War secret. The S.S. United States would become a symbol of post-war American pride, patriotism, and power. But after just 17 years on the open water, the ship would be retired, never to sail again.
How much does it cost to keep it afloat here?
Yeah, the costs are about $60,000 each month.
It's been docked here on the Delaware River in Philadelphia for the past 18 years, and the conservancy that owns it can't afford to keep it here any longer. Susan Gibbs is the executive director.
It represents the last, best, kind of the most iconic achievement in shipbuilding and design here in this nation. It's an engineering marvel, a work of art, and it's our history. It's our shared history as a nation. It would be as if, the Statue of Liberty was just kind of chopped off at her knees.
How critical is this point in time for the SS United States?
We are at the 11th hour, maybe the 59th minute of the 11th hour. We have never been closer to saving the ship, and we have never been closer to losing it.
Gibbs has more than a vested interest. This ship is in her heritage. Her grandfather, William Francis Gibbs, built the SS United States, a man with no formal training in marine engineering, who taught himself how to build ships. During World War II, 3/4 of U.S. naval vessels built were designed by Gibbs's firm. As the war ended, he went back to work on the ship he loved more than anything. His biographer, Stephen Ujifusa, spoke to Sunday Morning back in 2013.
He was kind of like Steve Jobs in that he knew a lot of engineering, but he was very much a visionary. Imagine taking a structure the size of the Chrysler Building, turning it on its side, and pushing it through the Atlantic at 44 miles per hour. That's a heck of a lot of engineering. And on top of that, make it the most beautiful ship in the world.
Throughout the 1950s, it was traveled by celebrity and royalty. Everyone from John Wayne and Judy Garland to the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. And it played a starring role in films like 1953's Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, alongside Jane Russell and Marilyn Monroe. That same year, CBS's Walter Cronkite was a passenger on the SS United States as he traveled to London to cover the coronation of Queen Elizabeth.
To look at her just could thrill you with pride and wonder. She just is a magnificent looking boat.
There were more people on this ship that lived in the town that I grew up in.
Joe Rota was an employee on the ship. His responsibilities included delivering telegrams to Harry Truman, and he shot this video of the president getting off the boat in France.
What was it like being on board?
It was special. I think that's the only word I could use. Anybody who made a contribution to this world traveled on board this ship.
But cruise ships suffered as jet planes became more popular in the 1960s. In 1967, William Francis Gibbs died, 2 years before his masterpiece retired from service.
What has happened to the ship since it's been retired?
So the ship was withdrawn from service in 1969. A series of plans were advanced and all failed. And so when the Conservancy purchased the vessel in 2011, it was the first time a preservation organization had stepped up to the plate.
For 4 years, Susan Gibbs has been trying to get financing for renovation and a new home that could cost up to $300 million. Ideas ranging from a hotel to a museum or offices. They have 3 more weeks before money forces them to sell this piece of maritime history for scrap metal.
You are literally trying to buy time.
We are trying to buy time. That is exactly what we need to do, because these pieces we are almost there, and we need that extra time to save this ship. We're not always good about recognizing and holding on to our history, particularly at this scale. but it's so important and we're so close to saving it.
For CBS This Morning Saturday, Edward Lawrence, Philadelphia.
Such a beautiful ship, and so sad to see it in that condition. It's bigger than the Titanic, and another of its most famous passengers was actually the Mona Lisa back in 1963 when it came over to be exhibited here.
It's so true what she said, though. Sometimes we don't really respect that kind of history. We don't know what to do with it, then we're all sad once it's not there anymore.
That's true. Well, we hope she can hold on to it.